Today in Fulchester Crown Court, Archibald Dunbar McNeil is charged with bigamy, attempting to obtain money by deception, and knowingly making a false declaration for the purpose of obtaining a marriage license.
Your name is Anne Bolton?
No, Anne McNeil.
But your maiden name is Bolton?
Yes.
And your address is 173 Eastern Avenue, Bristol?
Yes.
On December the 28th last, you went through a marriage ceremony at Fulchester Registry Office to the accused Archibald Dunbar McNeil.
I did.
At the time of this marriage, did you believe that Archibald McNeil was free to marry you?
He told me he was a widower.
And after the marriage, did you go on your honeymoon, and did something happen?
Oh, yes, January the 6th. It was a Saturday. I shall never forget it as long as I live. Archie and I were on our honeymoon in Scarborough.
In a hotel?
Yes, the Bronte Arms. We just retired to bed.
What time was that?
About 8:30.
Please continue.
Well, suddenly there was a terrific banging at the door, and Archie got up to open it, and two people, just barged in.
Did they give any reason for their intrusion?
The lady said she was Mrs. Susan McNeil, Archie's wife. The man, Mr. Defoe, a private inquiry agent.
And this was the first time you'd heard that your husband was already married?
Well, Lord, I resent my learned friend's assumption of omniscience. Surely it is for the jury to decide whether my client was or was not married to Mrs. Susan McNeil at that time.
I agree, Mr. Lotterby.
Well, perhaps I could rephrase the question, my lord.
Perhaps you could, Mr. Logan.
Miss Bolton, until Mrs. McNeil entered your room, had you any suspicion that Mr. McNeil was other than a widower?
No, none.
Did the accused seem surprised when Mr. McNeil and Mr. Defoe entered the room?
Oh, yes, of course, we both were. It was the last thing we were expecting.
Not quite. How did Mr. McNeil react?
Well, he was shattered. He just said, "Good God, Susan," and sat on the bed. He looked awful.
As well he might. Mr. McNeil apparently recognised the lady.
Oh, yes, after the first shock, he talked to her, quite friendly.
Indeed?
He asked her how her feet were.
Oh. Now, the situation was explained to you, was it not, by the inquiry agent?
Oh, yes, Mr. Defoe. He told me that Archie was already married and I was a bigamist wife.
How did you first meet Mr. McNeil?
Through an agency.
A matrimonial agency?
Yes, Your Lordship.
And was Mr. McNeil a client also of this agency?
Yes.
Why did you choose Mr. McNeil?
Well, he looked nice in the photographs they showed me, and when we met, I realised I loved him.
Were you employed before you met the accused?
No, you see, I was left some property by my father, some flats. I lived on the rents.
And did you and the accused ever have any conversation about financial matters?
Yes. Archie asked me to sign the flats over into his name.
And did you agree at first?
No, well, I said, why bother? But, you see, Archie had become a Somali citizen some years before, and in a Muslim African country, a man is supposed to control all his wife's wealth.
Is that what he told you?
Yes. Well, I said, well, what if something happened to him?
And what did he reply?
He said, don't worry, darling, we'll always be together from now on.
So what did you do about the flats?
Well, I instructed my solicitor to have the flats conveyed in Archie's name.
And were they conveyed into the accused's name?
No. Before it could be done, I heard...
Yes, don't tell me what you heard, but did you talk to the accused about something that you'd heard?
Well, I told him that I'd heard that he was trying to sell the flats, that my solicitor had found out he was trying to sell the flats to a property company in Leeds.
Did he deny it?
No, he just said, don't get excited.
Did Mr. McNeil at any time discuss religion with you?
No.
You didn't know, then, that he has professed to be a Muslim?
No.
Or, moreover, that he has 3 wives in Mogadishu, all of whom he married under Muslim law?
3?
3, Miss Bolton.
Good heavens.
You had no idea of it?
No, I had no idea. Are there any children?
6, I think.
7.
Mr. Logan, now that we've settled Mr. McNeil's contribution to the population explosion, may we now continue? And you will kindly not give any more evidence yourself.
As your lordship pleases. Miss Bolton, what religion did your husband say he was?
Agnostic.
That is not a religion, Miss Bolton. It is an excuse.
Well, he put down atheist on the marriage licence.
From what your husband told you, did you believe that he was free to marry you and that it was his intention to do so and to live with you for the rest of your lives?
Yes.
If you had not believed those things, could you have instructed your solicitor to convey the flats into the accused's name?
No.
And if you had thought him to be a Muslim, would you have married him?
I don't know. I suppose so. After all, he is white. Personally, I've never attached much importance to religion.
Ah, but you do to marriage.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. What Mr. McNeil did, I was very upset, very. I thought he loved me. He's never even been in touch with me since that awful night.
My lord.
Yes, Mr. McNeil?
Might I be permitted to explain to my wife, Miss Bolton?
No, Mr. McNeil, you may not, at least not now. Your opportunity will come later.
I understand, my lord, and I do apologise to you for the interruption.
Miss Bolton, during the 10 days that you believed yourself to be the sole wife of Mr. McNeil, did he at any time discuss with you the possibility of selling your flats?
No.
Thank you, Mrs. McNeil.
When the Marriage Bureau informed you about Mr. McNeil, was the photograph the only thing about him which attracted you?
Well, I'm not a fool. I mean, when you go to a marriage agency, you take a certain risk. I mean, people are not always exactly what they seem.
Indeed not.
Well, I wanted to marry someone with a good business behind him, someone I could be sure of.
Very sensible, Miss Bolton.
Well, Mr. McNeil seemed perfect. He had this import-export business in Mogadishu, and he was a partner in a small shipping line.
You checked up on him?
Yes, I rang the Somali embassy and spoke to the commercial attaché.
And he confirmed Mr. McNeil's background?
Oh, yes. It seemed as if all my dreams had come true. We were going to live in Africa, and Mr. McNeil's such a nice man.
Miss Bolton, you told my learned friend that you and Mr. McNeil discussed the money side of your marriage.
Yes.
Oh, very sensible. If more married couples did this, there would be fewer divorce cases. Now, which of you instigated the discussion?
I don't know.
Oh, was it Mr. McNeil?
I can't remember.
Was it you?
Yes, I think it was.
How did Mr. McNeil react when you raised the money question?
Well, he said something like, well, what an unromantic thing to talk about on a honeymoon, or something like that.
Did the question of your property prey on your mind? Did it worry you?
No.
Yet you spoke to your husband about it.
Yes.
So it must have been on your mind, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't that exactly. You see, I just didn't want to have any secrets from each other. Besides, I was worried about what was going to happen to my property when we were in Somalia.
So it would be true to say, would it not, that the possibility of selling them had crossed your mind?
Well,
please answer yes or no, Miss Bolton.
Well, yes, I suppose it must have.
Would you describe yourself as an experienced businesswoman?
No, definitely not.
Or did you seek to give Mr. McNeil the impression that you were?
No, of course not.
So is it not possible that in starting negotiations to dispose of these flats of yours, Mr. McNeil was merely trying to lift part of the business burden onto his own shoulders?
My lord.
Mr. Lotterby, the witness cannot possibly answer that question.
With respect, my lord, my client is charged with attempting to obtain property by deception as well as bigamy. I'm merely trying to ascertain from this witness whether, in her view, there is any validity to that charge.
Mr. Lotterby, I'm fully aware of what you are trying to do, but it is for the jury to decide on the validity of the charge, not the witness.
As your lordship pleases. Miss Bolton, when did you and Mr. McNeil first meet?
November.
What date in November?
3rd.
So your courtship lasted nearly 2 months?
Yes, that's right.
Did you see much of each other?
Saw each other nearly every day.
You must have got to know each other pretty well during that time.
I thought we did.
Intimately?
Well, I don't know quite what you mean by that.
Did you become lovers?
Well,
Miss Bolton, the court does not wish to pry. It is merely trying to establish how well you knew each other prior to this marriage.
Well, yes, we did become lovers. 2 days after we met, actually, on a Thursday at Cleobury Mortimer. Mr. McNeil's a very affectionate man.
Was this affection mutual?
Yes.
And it would be surprising in the middle of all this mutual affection if you found time to discuss business.
Oh, we didn't discuss business.
Or religion.
No.
What sort of things did you discuss?
Well, personal things mostly, you know. I asked him about Somalia, what our life would be like in Mogadishu.
You see, Miss Bolton, what I'm trying to get at is how the question of your flats arose. Now, I find it hard to conceive that Mr. McNeil, in the midst of making love, would suddenly start asking you what property you own.
Well, it didn't happen like that. You see, he told me that he was a Somali citizen, and I wondered whether I'd have to become one too, and if so, what would happen to my flats in this country?
You were naturally concerned.
Yes.
Your concern would have been obvious to Mr. McNeil.
Yes, but I didn't tell him to go and sell them.
No, but he didn't, Miss Bolton. You yourself said he was merely negotiating with a property company in Leeds.
Yes, well, I hadn't thought of it like that.
Well, did Mr. McNeil at any time give you the impression that he was hard up, that he was in need of money?
No, Archie was very generous with money. I liked that.
Miss Bolton, I want you to think very carefully. Would you be prepared to take Mr. McNeil back after the trial?
Well, if he's married to Mrs. Susan McNeil and if he's got all those wives in Mogadishu, how could I?
Well, that's not really an answer, Miss Bolton, is it?
Well, yes, I'd take him back.
Why?
Well, he's a very nice man. I'm very fond of him.
Thank you.
My lord, can I ask a witness a question?
No, Mr. McNeil, you may not. It is not permitted in an English court of law. Any questions must be put through your counsel.
I see, my lord. In that case, could I ask my counsel if he would ask a witness if she would be willing to change her religion to that of Islam and marry me again under Muslim law?
Well, my lord, I must protest at the accused's blatant attempt to influence the witness and win sympathy with the jury.
Mr. Logan, whether a proposal of marriage under Muslim law could be regarded as an attempt to win sympathy is, I suspect, open to question. However, Mr. McNeil, you were expressly directed to address your questions through counsel.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, my lord.
It did not appear so to me, Mr. McNeil.
I'm very sorry, my lord.
Miss Bolton,
Yes, my lord.
are you fully recovered?
I don't know. This was the last thing I was expecting. I don't know.
Mr. Lotterby, have you finished your cross-examination?
I know, my lord.
Mr. Logan, will you wish to re-examine?
Yes, my lord, I will.
Well then, gentlemen, under the circumstances, I think I shall allow Miss Bolton to stand down for a moment to give her time to regain her composure. Meanwhile, Mr. Logan, would it incommode you to continue with your other witnesses?
No, not at all, my lord. I have no objection.
Mr. Lotterby?
As your lordship pleases.
Very well, Miss Bolton. You may stand down for a moment.
Yes, please.
You'll be taken to a room where you will be and you must remain alone. Remember, you're still under oath, so you must not discuss your evidence with anybody, not even the usher.
Yes, I understand.
I call Mr. Stanley Defoe.
Yes, and while we're waiting for the witness, Mr. Lotterby, this might be an appropriate time to have a word with your client. I'd be obliged if you would impress upon him that the court's patience is not limitless. One proposal of marriage per trial will suffice.
As your lordship directs.
You are Stanley Defoe of the Defoe and Defoe Inquiry Agency of Fulchester, and you live at Sugden Cottage, Sugden Road, Fulchester.
That is correct.
And you're a private inquiry agent.
Correct, sir.
You were employed by Mrs. Susan McNeil to trace the whereabouts of her husband.
Correct, sir.
And now, would you look at the photograph, Exhibit 1, Mr. Defoe? It is an agreed document, my lord. Have you seen that photograph before?
Yes, sir. Mrs. Susan McNeil gave it to me and asked me to trace the man in it. As you can see, it was taken outside the Fulchester Registry Office. I recognised the door.
And what course of action did you then take, Mr. Defoe?
I procured a copy of the marriage certificate from Fulchester Registry Office.
Exhibit 2, my lord, a certified copy. What were Mrs. McNeil's instructions to you, Mr. Defoe?
Well, Mrs. McNeil asked me to trace the whereabouts of Archibald McNeil.
Did you succeed in this?
Yes, I traced him and a lady with whom he'd undergone a form of marriage to a hotel in Scarborough.
When was this?
On the 5th of January. I then phoned Mrs. McNeil for further instructions. She came to Scarborough the following day, identified the man as Archibald McNeil, and asked me to accompany her to his room that evening.
And what happened there?
I knocked on the bedroom door. Mr. McNeil opened it in his dressing gown, and I thought he was going to faint when he saw my client. I mean, he turned a very strange colour.
Did he say anything?
Yes, sir, he said something like, "Good God, Susan," and went and sat down on the bed. A woman later identified as Miss Bolton or McNeil was in the bed, apparently naked.
And would you say that Mr. McNeil seemed surprised to see your client?
Well, not surprised, sir, more like aghast.
And did your client speak to him?
Yes, sir, she said, "Hello, Archie, how's the back?"
How's the back?
Yes, my lord, I didn't understand the reference either.
I see.
Was there any other conversation, Mr. Defoe?
Yes, sir, in the presence of the accused, I informed the lady in bed that the accused was already married to my client, Mrs. Susan McNeil, and he did not deny it.
And was anything else said?
Not in my presence, sir. My client asked me to wait downstairs for her, which I did, and she remained upstairs for 50 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Defoe.
Mr. Defoe, can you tell me how it was you came to be instructed by Mrs. Susan McNeil?
Well, she came to our office, that is my father's and mine, in Fulchester on the 2nd of January. She brought with her the photograph. It was a wedding photograph she'd seen in the window of a local photographer. And she pointed out to us the man in this photograph, the bridegroom, and said that he was her husband, Archibald McNeil, who had deserted her 6 years earlier.
So, Mrs. Susan McNeil came to your office on January the 2nd with this wedding photograph.
Yes, sir.
And by the 5th of January, you had traced Mr. McNeil to Scarborough.
That's correct, sir. You see, my father being indisposed, I was entrusted with this investigation.
When did you start looking for Mr. McNeil?
On the 3rd, sir.
So it took you 2 days to locate Mr. McNeil?
1 day, sir. I had located him on the 4th.
That was quick work, wasn't it?
Well, that's very kind of you to say that, sir.
Oh, tell me, how did you manage it?
Well, I inquired amongst the local taxi drivers who operate a service from the registry office and found one who had taken Mr. and Mrs. McNeil to the station. I then found that, apart from local trains, only 2 mainline expresses passed through the station, one to Manchester, the other Scarborough.
And you assumed that no one would honeymoon in Manchester, but they might in Scarborough?
Correct, sir. I then phoned round the Scarborough hotels and on my second phone call located Mr. and Mrs. McNeil at the Bronte Arms.
So it would appear that Mr. McNeil made no attempt to cover his tracks.
Oh, none, sir, no.
Thank you, Mr. Defoe.
That is all, Mr. Defoe, thank you. My next witness is Mrs. Susan McNeil.
Very well, Mr. Defoe.
Thank you, Lord.
Susan McNeil, please.
You are Mrs. Susan McNeil of Shangri-La, The Grove, Northampton?
Yes?
You were married on the 12th of July, 1967, at Northampton Registry Office?
Yes.
To whom were you married?
To Archie?
You mean to the accused?
Yes.
My lord, I have here a certified copy of this marriage certificate, exhibit number 3. As you will see, my lord, and members of the jury, Mr. McNeil describes himself in the certificate as a widower. His occupation, a company director. Mrs. McNeil, what did Mr. McNeil tell you about himself as to his occupation and station?
He said that his wife had died and that he was a director of an import-export company in Mogadishu in Somalia.
And what did he describe his religion as?
Agnostic.
When did you first meet Mr. McNeil?
In June 1967, early June.
And how did you meet?
Quite by accident. Because of a mistake of a ticket agency, we found that we both held the same ticket for a play at the Globe Theatre in London.
What was your first impression of Mr. McNeil?
Oh, he was very charming. A bit of a rough diamond, perhaps, but none the worse for that.
And just over a month later, you were married.
Yes.
Rather a whirlwind romance.
Well, Mr. McNeil is a very attractive man.
And you married at Northampton Registry Office?
Yes.
Did the question of your husband's nationality arise?
Oh, he told me that he'd had to take Somali citizenship for business reasons. They got their independence in 1960, you know.
Oh, I see. At the time of your marriage, Mrs. McNeil, did you have private means?
Oh, yes. You see, my father and my uncle had both died recently, and they'd left me well provided for.
And Mr. McNeil knew about this?
Oh, yes, I told him.
When did Mr. McNeil return to Somalia?
In September.
And were you to accompany him?
Well, not immediately. There were certain financial matters to be cleared up.
Oh, financial matters?
Yes. You see, Archie was very worried about my money. He said that as we should not be returning to this country for some years, it would be better if my money were put either into a bank in Mogadishu or a bank in the Lebanon.
And did you do this?
Well, no, I left quite a lot of my money in this country. It was a blessing I did, too.
Why?
Well, he did me out of it.
My lord.
Yes, Mr. Lotterby. Mrs. McNeil, what do you mean by that?
Well, I never got any of it back.
Do you mean that your husband deliberately refused to return that money to you?
Well, he didn't refuse exactly. He just didn't return it to me.
What were the circumstances?
Well, I transferred about £8,000 into Archie's bank at Mogadishu, and the rest of it. Then in October, I think,
October 67?
yes, that's right, in October, I flew out to join him there, and the rest of my money was held up in this country. Well, Archie met me at the airport, and he took me straight to a place about 200 miles up the coast called Hargeisa. He said he was transferring a lot of his business to Hargeisa, and that there was no point in staying in the capital any longer. Well, Hargeisa is a pretty ghastly place. There's a large cattle market there, and docks, and well, not very much else. It's frightfully hot, and the flies are awful. Well, everything was fine for a while, except that I didn't see very much of Archie. He was always in the capital. Well, I heard that my mother was ill, so I flew back to England for a little while.
Your husband didn't return with you?
Oh, no. You see, he was involved in a shipping business which transferred Muslim pilgrims to Jeddah. That is the port of Mecca. And he said that he couldn't get away. Well, I was in England for about 4 months, and I got fed up, and I just flew back to Mogadishu. An Italian I met at the airport offered to drive me out to Archie's place at Mogadishu. Well, I'd never seen it, so I went.
And what did you find?
Well, it was a lovely house. Much nicer than my bungalow at Hargeisa. I was surprised. Well, I went in, and there was a woman, several women there. They were all black.
And was your husband there?
Oh, yes.
Did you ask who the women were?
No, one of them said.
Yes, was your husband present when this was said?
Yes, she said that she was his wife, that they were all his wives, and who was I?
Did he say anything? Deny it?
He said he wanted to explain.
Did he?
Well, I just flew straight home.
Did you see Mr. McNeil again?
No.
Did you attempt to communicate with him?
Oh, yes. I telephoned, I wrote letters, I said I was getting a divorce.
Did you?
No. But I did start an action to try to get my money back.
Did you succeed?
Well, no. The courts are very slow over there. And my solicitors advised me to drop the case.
And presumably matters rested there, until you saw Mr. McNeil's wedding photograph in a window of a photographic shop in Fulchester.
Yes. I mean, I was absolutely amazed. I had no idea that he'd come back to this country. I didn't think he'd dare to.
Did you ever attempt any form of reconciliation?
Oh, yes, I wrote several letters to him in Mogadishu suggesting that we should meet somewhere, anywhere, to discuss our marriage.
And what was your husband's reaction?
Well, there wasn't one. He never even replied.
To the best of your knowledge, Mrs. McNeil, does your husband still hold £8,000 of yours?
Yes, he does. And I want it back.
Thank you, Mrs. McNeil.
Mrs. McNeil, you have said, have you not, that you threatened your husband with divorce?
Yes.
You consulted a solicitor?
Yes.
Did he consider that you had grounds for a divorce action?
Oh, yes, he said that if I could get evidence, I should have no trouble at all in getting a divorce.
Yet you didn't obtain the evidence.
No.
Why not?
Well, I always hope... I don't know.
Did you attempt to obtain evidence?
No.
I put it to you, Mrs. McNeil, that you didn't really want to obtain this evidence.
I certainly did. I've been telling the truth.
Well, let us hope you are prepared to answer my next question equally truthfully.
Of course.
After the trial, would you be prepared to take your husband back?
Well, yes. After all, he is still my husband.
Oh, excuse me, Your Honour, I beg your pardon.
Madam, you must not interrupt this trial.
Oh, you don't understand, Your Honour. There's something the court ought to know.
Madam, if you continue in this manner, you will be guilty of contempt of court.
Well, that woman said she's married to Archie. She's not. She can't be.
And why not?
Because I'm married to Archie.
The case of the Queen against McNeil will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. These are the 3 African wives of Archibald McNeil. He married them in Somalia under Muslim law. This is Archibald McNeil. The national press have already christened him the Bluebeard of Scotland. He's on trial today in Fulchester Crown Court on a charge of bigamy, attempting to obtain money by deception, and knowingly making a false declaration for the purpose of obtaining a marriage licence. The prosecution alleges that he also married Susan McNeil under British law, and then went through a marriage ceremony with Anne Bolton. Yesterday, yet a third woman, claiming to be his wife, interrupted the court proceedings.
Mr. Logan, Mr. Lotterby, I must confess I am in danger of losing my grasp on the evidence. Just help me, will you? As I understand it, the prosecution evidence so far tends to establish that the accused had or has 3 Muslim wives in Somalia, that he went through English ceremonies with Mrs. Susan McNeil on the 12th of July, 1967, and with Miss Anne Bolton on the 28th of December, 1972. We've also heard that Miss Anne Bolton, in the belief that she was to marry the accused and, as it were, live happily ever after, instructed her solicitor to convey a block of flats to the accused, but this was prevented by the appearance of Mrs. Susan McNeil. Then yesterday, another lady announced that she was married to the accused. Now, is that correct so far?
Yes, my lord, that is correct.
So we may hear evidence from yet another Mrs. McNeil.
We may, my lord.
Yes, well, Mrs. Susan McNeil was being cross-examined. She may return to the box.
Susan McNeil, please.
Mrs. McNeil, I must remind you that you are still on oath.
I understand, your lordship.
Mr. McNeil, you said yesterday in this court that you would be prepared to take Archibald McNeil back after the trial.
Yes.
Do you still feel the same way?
Yes. In spite of what that woman said yesterday, he is still my husband.
Yet, according to your evidence, your husband, and I quote you, did you out of £8,000.
Well, I don't know if he's done me out of it exactly, but he still has £8,000 of mine.
Well, that's not the way you put it yesterday.
No.
You've changed your mind.
Well, I just don't know what to think.
You transferred the money to his account in Mogadishu.
Yes, but it was only a temporary arrangement.
Or was it, Mrs. McNeil, that the £8,000 represented an outright gift to your husband?
No, I told you, I didn't give him the money.
I must warn you that we shall hear evidence to the contrary.
Well, I don't care what anybody says. I did not give him that money.
Mrs. McNeil, I find your actions of January the 5th and 6th, as described by yourself and Mr. Defoe, is rather curious. You saw the photograph of Mr. McNeil and his new wife, and you promptly employed a local private detective to trace your husband.
Yes.
Well, why didn't you go straight to the police? On the face of it, the wedding photograph represented prima facie evidence of bigamy, did it not?
Well, I wasn't sure.
You mean you weren't sure that such a marriage was bigamous?
No. I mean, I had to be sure before I committed myself to anything. I wanted to see my husband.
And this you succeeded in doing on the 6th of January.
Yes.
Yet when you came face to face with Mr. McNeil in Scarborough, you immediately sent Mr. Defoe out of the room.
Yes. I wanted privacy.
To do what?
I don't understand you.
What did you talk about?
The situation, of course, this bigamous marriage.
Can you be a bit more specific?
Well, I pointed out to Miss Bolton that she wasn't in fact married to Archie at all, that I was his wife.
What was her reaction?
Well, first she burst into tears, and then she became abusive.
In 50 minutes, she must have done a lot of crying.
Well, she didn't cry all the time, of course.
And presumably she wasn't abusive for, what, 3/4 of an hour?
No.
What did Mr. McNeil have to say?
He asked me how my feet were.
Your feet?
Yes.
Anything else?
Not very much.
It must have been rather a silent 50 minutes, apart from Miss Bolton weeping.
Well, we discussed what we were going to do, how we should cope with the situation.
Did you suggest to Mr. McNeil that he should return to you?
Yes.
What was his reaction?
He said, how could he? He had only just married Miss Bolton.
Did you threaten him?
Threaten him?
Did you say that you'd not yet gone to the police, but that you would if he remained with Miss Bolton?
No, it was Miss Bolton who threatened to go to the police.
If Mr. McNeil returned to you?
Yes.
So between tears and abuse, Miss Bolton did find time to contribute to the discussion.
Yes.
And what did she propose?
That I divorced Archie.
And you refused?
Yes.
Why?
Well, he's still my husband.
Did you ask Miss Bolton for an annulment?
No.
Had Miss Bolton agreed to such an annulment, would this case ever have got to court?
Well, my lord, I submit that my learned friend's question is hypothetical and irrelevant.
I agree, Mr. Logan.
As your lordship pleases. Now, Mrs. McNeil, when did you go to the police? Immediately after the meeting in the Bronte Arms?
Not immediately.
But you did go that same evening?
Yes.
I'd like to turn to your marriage with Mr. McNeil. How long did you live with him as his wife?
Counting the time in this country, 13 months and 12 days.
Oh, you're very precise.
I've never had any other marriage.
Then how was that marriage? How was Mr. McNeil as a husband?
I don't know quite how to answer that.
Well, was Mr. McNeil an affectionate husband?
Oh, yes, very. I have no complaints at all about Mr. McNeil as a husband when he was there.
So you not unnaturally felt very bitter when you discovered that Mr. McNeil was already married under Muslim law?
Yes.
Yet you didn't seek a divorce. Was that because you hoped he would return to you?
Well,
Answer yes or no, please.
Yes.
Yet you knew he had other wives.
I thought he might leave them.
Is there a mosque in Hargeisa?
Hargeisa, there are several.
Did your husband ever visit them?
Frequently, I believe. A lot of business is done in mosques.
Yet in order to do business with other Muslims in the mosques, surely you must have known he would have to be a Muslim himself.
I don't know anything about Muslim law.
That's not the question I asked, Mrs. McNeil.
I didn't know my husband, Archie, was a Muslim.
I find that hard to believe, Mrs. McNeil. I put it to you that in 1967 you knowingly entered into a polygamous marriage.
No.
When being one of 4 wives lost its appeal to you, you returned to this country, hoping your husband would follow.
No, it wasn't like that.
And when he failed to do so, you became bitter and angry, but you still wanted to get him back. And so when you discovered in January of this year that he was entering into yet another polygamous marriage, you saw an opportunity of winning him back by simple blackmail.
No.
How else would you describe your meeting with Mr. McNeil and Miss Bolton in their bedroom at the Bronte Arms, Scarborough?
You've got it all wrong.
My lord, I will be brief. My learned friend has succeeded in confusing the issue with his usual skill. Mrs. McNeil, did your husband tell you he was a Muslim when you married?
No.
Did you make a gift of £8,000 to him?
No.
In Scarborough, did you attempt to blackmail him into returning to you?
No.
And in employing a private detective to trace your husband, what was your motive?
I didn't want to cause trouble. You see, all I had to go on was that photograph. I mean, I had to be sure before I went to the police.
Thank you, Mrs. McNeil. My lord, perhaps now would be a convenient time for Miss Bolton to complete her evidence.
Yes, very well. Thank you, Mrs. McNeil.
Bolton, please.
Miss Bolton, I must remind you that you are still on oath.
Yes, my lord, I understand.
Mr. Lotterby was cross-examining you yesterday. He will continue. And Mr. Logan may wish to re-examine you.
I understand.
Miss Bolton, you said yesterday that you would be prepared to stand by Mr. McNeil no matter what happened.
Yes.
Well, it may be, Miss Bolton, that the jury will decide that your present marriage to Mr. McNeil is bigamous.
Well, I don't care. I'll stay with Archie if he wants me.
You love Mr. McNeil?
Yes, I married him. He's still my husband.
You said yesterday, did you not, that on January the 6th, you and Mr. McNeil were in your bedroom in the Bronte Arms when Mrs. Susan McNeil and Mr. Defoe barged in, I think was the phrase you used.
Yes, we were together, yes.
Mrs. McNeil dismissed Mr. Defoe.
Yes, she said, I don't need you anymore. You can wait for me in the bar.
What happened when Mr. Defoe had left the room?
Mrs. McNeil explained that she was already married to Archie, and he was in such a state, I knew it must be true. Poor Archie.
You felt sorry for him?
Oh, yes. She was going on at him like a fishwife. She's a dreadful woman.
Miss Bolton, you must not abuse another witness.
Well, I was only trying to tell the truth, my lord.
No, Miss Bolton, there is a difference between truth and opinion. You were giving us your opinion of Mrs. McNeil.
Oh, I'm sorry, my lord. My lord,
Yes?
everybody keeps calling me Miss Bolton. Well, Archie and I were married at Fulchester Registry Office. Now, surely until the court decides whether that marriage was either bigamous or not, I'm entitled to be called Mrs. McNeil.
Yes, indeed, Mrs. McNeil. My apologies.
Thank you.
Mrs. McNeil, did you weep during this discussion between yourself, Mr. McNeil, and the other Mrs. McNeil?
Weep?
Weep.
No.
Did you become abusive?
Well, towards the end, I think I might have been.
Why?
Well, Mrs. McNeil wanted Archie to leave me and go off with her.
She said this?
Yeah, several times, mostly at the top of her voice.
Did she threaten you?
Well, not me personally, but she threatened Archie.
In what way?
Well, she said she was going to go to the police if he didn't leave me and go with him.
She'd go to the police?
Yes, and tell them that he was a bigamist.
Well, what were you supposed to do?
Well, that was it. I was supposed to just go off and get a quiet divorce somewhere and say no more about it.
Miss Bolton, or rather Mrs. McNeil, I must warn you that is a very serious allegation to make against Mrs. McNeil.
I know, my lord, but it's the truth. It's not opinion.
You rejected Mrs. McNeil's ultimatum.
I did indeed.
Thank you, Mrs. McNeil.
Mrs. McNeil, you've changed your attitude since you gave your evidence yesterday, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Why?
Well, because I have had time to think. Now, I am the last person that Archie married. Now, he chose me as his latest wife. Now, yesterday in the court, he renewed that choice. He asked, well, you know.
Mr. McNeil would seem to possess an uncanny ability to excite loyalty in women.
Some men can, Mr. Logan, and some men can't. Just because I'm loyal doesn't mean to say I'm lying.
Let us see, Mrs. McNeil. You told us that Mr. McNeil, unknown to you, was attempting to sell your property without your permission.
He was merely opening negotiations.
With a view to selling?
Yes.
And you don't deny, do you, that he was already married to Mrs. Susan McNeil when he went through a ceremony of marriage with you?
Isn't that for the court to decide?
It is indeed, Mrs. McNeil. But your husband described himself to you as a widower at the time you were married, did he not?
Yes.
Which was untrue. You told us also, didn't you, that he omitted to mention to you that he already had 3 Muslim wives and 6 children in Mogadishu.
Well, I'm sure Archie can explain.
Oh, I'm sure he can, Mrs. McNeil. I'm sure any man with Mr. McNeil's evident power over women will have a most ingenious explanation.
Have you been married before?
No.
Engaged?
Well, 12 years ago.
Why was the engagement broken off?
Well, my father became an invalid. I had to look after him.
Would you describe yourself as a woman with great experience of the world?
Well, I don't know how to answer that. But I'm not a fool, if that's what you mean.
Yes. Thank you. You may go now.
My next witness, my lord, is Mrs. Agnes McNeil.
Agnes McNeil, please.
You were married to Archibald Dunbar McNeil at Carlisle Registry Office on the 5th of February, 1956.
I was.
Do you recognise the accused?
Yes, that is my husband.
My lord, I produce a certified copy of Mrs. McNeil's marriage certificate as exhibit number 4. On it, as you will see, Mr. McNeil is described as a bachelor and his occupation company director. Mrs. McNeil, the announcement of your presence here in court yesterday came as something of a surprise for everyone.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I really don't know what came over me. I'm not usually the sort of person who gets up at meetings and things.
You live in Scotland. How come you came to be in court in Fulchester?
Well, a friend of mine saw a newspaper piece about the trial, and she phoned me, and she said she was sure it was my Archie. So I came down yesterday, and it was Archie.
You seem pleased to see him.
Well, I've always been pleased to see Archie. He's a nice man, and a very good husband he was too.
A good husband?
Yes. That's the way I remember him. Very considerate and very affectionate.
When did you last see your husband?
About 1958. No, 1959.
That's 14 years ago.
Yes. Will I be able to see Archie after the trial?
Well, that rather depends upon the jury. But I'm sure something could be arranged.
We've a lot to talk about.
Well, you must have, after 14 years. Mrs. McNeil, would you tell the court how you first met your husband?
We met on a train from Berwick to Newcastle. It was rather romantic, really. We shared a compartment.
Well, when was this?
About Christmas 1955. He was home on leave from Somalia. He looked so brown, I'll never forget.
It wasn't a long courtship, then?
No, we were married in the February. He quite swept me off my feet. We went to London for our honeymoon.
Did you go out to Somalia?
Yes, we went out together there in the April. Oh, a dreadful country it was.
You didn't like it?
Oh, no, it was so hot, and all those flies. I've never liked the heat, you know.
Where did you live in Somalia?
At first in Mogadishu, but I couldn't stand the climate. So Archie found me a bungalow up in the hills. But that was no good either, particularly when I became pregnant.
Oh, when was that?
Towards the end of 1957, Ian was born in February 1958, almost exactly 2 years after we'd married.
Did you have the child out there?
No, I came back to Scotland in the October. I had Ian in a nursing home in Berwick. Oh, he was such a beautiful baby.
Mr. Lotterby, am I to understand that this latest addition to Mr. McNeil's family brings the total to 8?
No, my lord, I was including that one.
I was asking your counsel.
That is correct, my lord. 7.
Thank you.
Mrs. McNeil, did you return to Somalia immediately?
No, I went back there about September.
1958?
Yes, but it was no good.
Why not?
Well, because of the climate. Poor little Ian suffered agonies with prickly heat. So Archie and I had a talk, and we decided I'd go back home until things were better. He couldn't leave, of course, because of his business.
You say until things were better.
Yes.
What things, Mrs. McNeil? I mean, surely the climate wasn't going to improve.
Oh, no, of course not. It was Archie's business. It was going through a bad patch. That was why he couldn't come home with me.
And that was in 1959?
Yes.
Did you see your husband again?
No, and not until yesterday.
Didn't he write to you?
Oh, yes, he did for a bit. But the trouble is we're neither of us very good correspondents.
But how did you live? Didn't he send you any money?
Yes, he did for a bit. But money wasn't really a problem. You see, Mother had several gift shops, so I just ran one of them for her. The one in Jedburgh.
When you married Mr. McNeil, did you have any money of your own?
Yes, it wasn't much, but Father had left me a few shares.
And did you ever lend or give your husband any money?
Yes.
How much?
Your Lordship, do I have to answer that question?
Is there any reason why you should not?
Well, it's no one's business but mine, my lord. I'm not accusing anyone, certainly not Archie, of robbing me. I lent him money to help him with his business. Well, I had to, but that's between Archie and me.
My lord, Mr. McNeil is charged not only with bigamy, but also with attempting to obtain money by deception. Now, the purpose of my question was simply to establish whether the same pattern of marriage and money was repeated in the case of this witness, too.
Well, Mr. Logan, I think in this instance we may respect Mrs. McNeil's privacy.
As your lordship pleases. Mrs. McNeil, you said that you hadn't seen the accused for 14 years.
That's right.
Why didn't you seek a divorce, then?
Well, I didn't want to hurt his feelings.
You didn't want to hurt his feelings?
Archie's very sensitive.
I'm afraid I don't understand, Mrs. McNeil.
Well, it wasn't his fault the marriage didn't work. I just couldn't stand a hot climate. But he was a good husband. I mean, we never had a cross word, and there's not many marriages you can say that of.
Suppose he had asked you for a divorce. Would you have asked him to return your money, the money that you lent him?
Possibly. I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I mean, it would have depended upon the circumstances.
What circumstances?
Well, I don't know. They never arose.
Well, you're either a saint, Mrs. McNeil, or you must... I mean, don't you ever resent your husband's treatment of your child, his son?
Oh, yes, I know. But, you see, Ian was only a baby when Archie saw him, and squalling his head off with prickly heat. I don't think men like babies, do you? Anyway, it would have been different if Ian had been older. But he can always see him now if he wants to. And if he doesn't, well, Ian's managed without a father for this long.
What religion was your husband when you married him?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think we ever discussed it.
Agnostic?
If that means he didn't have one, yes.
And what about when you went out to Africa?
He never went to church at all there.
One last question, Mrs. McNeil. It will save my learned friend from asking it. I suppose you would take Mr. McNeil back if the opportunity arose?
Oh, no, definitely no.
Well, I'm relieved to find that Mr. McNeil's extraordinary powers over his wives appears to have some limitations.
Well, what I mean is, I don't see the point of taking him back and starting again. He's a Somalian citizen, his business is out there, but I still couldn't live in a hot climate, so what's the point?
Thank you.
On the other hand, if he came back to live in this country...
Mrs. McNeil, you have said your husband had no religion.
That's right.
But while you were in Somalia, did he visit many mosques?
Oh, yes. But then he had to. Quite a lot of business is done in the mosques.
Yes, but in order to get into a mosque, he must have been a Muslim, mustn't he?
Oh, I'd never thought of it like that. It's funny Archie didn't tell me.
My lord, I have been in mosques on several occasions myself, and I don't subscribe to Mohammedanism.
Your point is taken, Mr. Logan.
Mr. McNeil, you agree then it is possible that unknown to you, your husband was a Muslim?
Yes, I suppose so. If Archie's a Muslim, does that make Ian one too?
Oh, I don't know, Mrs. McNeil.
Maybe I should have him circumcised.
Mrs. McNeil, you have been apart from your husband for 14 years. Well, how have you described your status since you returned to this country?
I beg your pardon?
Married, divorced, widowed, single?
Well, I'd hardly call myself single when I've got a 15-year-old son.
Which leaves us with 3 alternatives. Which did you choose? Well, you must have had to choose one of them to fill in a census form, for example. What have you told your son?
Your Honour, do I have to answer that question?
Yes, Mrs. McNeil, you do.
Well, if you must know, I vary.
Very.
Yes, well, it depends who asks me. I mean, I've told Ian I'm divorced, but I think his father's dead.
What do you tell your friends?
They think I'm a widow. Well, some people don't like divorcees, you know.
How do you describe yourself on official forms?
Well, I say I'm divorced, except on the census form. You have to tell the truth on that. But they do say it's confidential.
You told his lordship that you described yourself to friends as a widow.
Yes.
You mean friends of both sexes?
Yes.
So you haven't been bereft of male attention during your widowhood?
Your Lordship, this is really very embarrassing, particularly with my husband in court.
Quite, Mrs. McNeil, you don't have to answer that question. It is irrelevant, like a good many of Mr. Lotterby's questions.
Thank you, my lord.
Perhaps I could rephrase, your lordship. Mr. McNeil, you have you not, friends of the opposite sex during your husband's 14-year absence?
Yes.
Thank you, Mrs. McNeil.
Mrs. McNeil, can you remember the last occasion on which you heard from your husband?
Oh, I don't know.
You said, did you not, that you wrote to each other, but the correspondence lapsed?
Yes.
Well, when did you receive your last letter from your husband?
Oh, it must have been about 12 years ago, I suppose. Maybe it was 11.
But did he never remember your son's birthday?
Oh, yes. Ian got presents and cards until quite a few years ago.
How many years?
Oh, I'm not sure. I seem to remember Ian getting a card or something 7 or 8 years ago.
Which was it, 7 or 8?
Mrs. McNeil, it may be most important for legal reasons that you try to remember.
Or maybe it was 9. Or was it less? No, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. McNeil. That completes the evidence for the prosecution, my lord.
You may go now, Mrs. McNeil.
I would like to have a word with Archie, if that's possible, your lordship.
Later, perhaps, Mrs. McNeil.
The sole witness for the defence, my lord, is the defendant Archibald Dunbar McNeil.
Mr. McNeil.
Sorry, my lord.
You will be taking the Muslim oath?
Yes, my lord. I take this oath on the Quran, believing the Quran is God's true word.
The case of the Queen against McNeil will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. This is the last day of the trial of Archibald McNeil, the Scottish Bluebeard, as the newspapers have christened him. He takes his place in the witness box under the eyes of the 3 women he married and who've given evidence against him. McNeil is charged with bigamy, attempting to obtain money by deception, and making a false declaration for the purpose of obtaining a marriage license. He's given his religion as Muslim.
You are Archibald Dunbar McNeil?
I am.
You are a citizen of the Somali Democratic Republic?
Yes, I am.
You live at Edinburgh, Bantu Road, Mogadishu, Somalia.
I do.
Where you are a director of an import-export agency and partner in a shipping business.
That's right, sir.
Mr. McNeil, you took the oath as a Muslim.
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived as a follower of Islam?
For 25 years, sir.
It's a trifle unusual for an Englishman or a Scotsman to become Mohammedan. Would you explain to the court the circumstances in which you changed your religion? Presumably you were brought up in the Church of Scotland.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, that actually it goes back to the war. During that time, I was stationed in Egypt and the Sudan. I was demobbed in 46 in Khartoum. I had the offer of a job at a British company, but I didn't like the job very much. And I heard there were a lot of openings in Djibouti and Somalia, so I just went there.
How did you become a Muslim?
Well, you see, I discovered there were a lot of African pilgrims who wanted to go to Mecca. They hadn't been able to go during the war, you see. And now you could say the pilgrim trade was really booming. I wanted to get in on it, but I found it very difficult as a Christian because the rest of them were all Mohammedans. So I joined them. I became a follower of the Prophet at the age of 23.
And you lived as a Muslim ever since?
Oh, yes. And a pretty strict Muslim, too. I mean, I've got to be when I'm involved in the pilgrim trade.
Quite. Now, as a Muslim, you are permitted 4 wives, I believe.
Yes, you're permitted more if you want, if you can afford them, that is. It's basically really a matter of economics.
When did you take Somalian nationality?
1960, the year after independence.
And you retained your Somalian nationality when the army took over in 1969, I believe.
21st October 1969, although no problems about that. Several of my friends were very senior army officers.
What country do you regard as your home?
Somalia, my lord.
When did you come to think of it as your home?
I would say from about 1960, my lord. By that time, I decided I was going to stay there for the rest of my life until I died.
When did you first marry, Mr. McNeil?
1950. She was a Somali, a Muslim, of course. She died in 1952.
So you were then a widower?
Yes, I was.
Did you marry again?
Yes, the following year. She was another Somali, a wife, I beg your pardon, a sister of my business partner.
She's still alive?
Yes.
You have children?
No, unfortunately, that wife was unable to have children. That was why I had to get married again.
And when was that?
1955. I married her half-sister.
The half-sister of your partner?
Yes, sir.
How many children do you have by your second wife?
4, all boys.
And your second wife, she's also Muslim?
Oh, yes.
She also lives with you in Mogadishu?
Oh, yes.
You married the half-sister of your first Somali wife in 1955, yet 2 years later you married Agnes Aitchison in a Carlisle registry office, Mrs. Agnes McNeil.
Yes. Yes, I came home at the back end of 56. I hadn't been home for 10 years, you see. I met Agnes and then, about February 57, she suggested that we should get married, so we did.
You didn't tell her you were already married?
No, but then I didn't marry her in a Christian church.
Did you tell her you were a Muslim?
No.
Why not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to, but I just couldn't do it. I was just afraid that she might not understand it. I hoped that she would guess.
Guess?
Well, you see, I kept up very strict Muslim observances at home. Didn't smoke or drink or eat pig. But she just thought I had dysentery.
What about your Muslim wives?
Oh, well, I stayed part of the time with them. I mean, I had 2 homes. I really did mean to tell Agnes, but then she got rather ill with the climate, and then she got pregnant. Well, how could I tell her then?
When Agnes, your first wife, returned to this country, what did you do?
Well, after a bit, I took another Muslim wife.
A Somali?
Oh, no. She's from Jeddah, the daughter of an agent there that we do business with.
Any children?
2 boys.
And later you returned to this country and married Susan Watt?
Yes. Look, I know it must really sound a bit stupid. The truth is that I was just lonely.
Lonely, Mr. McNeil? With 3 wives?
Yes, my lord. My wives are nice women. They're very attractive, lovely people. But you see, See, my lord, all I ever hear at home is Somali. My brother-in-law speaks Somali, my wives all speak Somali. None of them's ever been any further than Cairo. I was really lonely. And then I met Susan. Oh, this is wonderful. Now, here is somebody I can really talk to in English. I mean, somebody I can have a joke with. And we fell in love.
And why did you marry her?
But she wanted to. She asked me. It did seem the right thing to do.
Well, did you have any thought that you might be breaking the law?
Oh, no, sir, not at all.
And then Susan found out about the Muslim wives.
Yes, she came to my home in Mogadishu, and, well, there was a bit of a row, and she just walked out and went back to England. Well, I mean, she's told you the rest herself.
What happened when you returned home at the end of last year?
Well, I decided to try again to have an English wife. I went to a matrimonial agency. They put me in touch with Anne. It was wonderful. It was marvellous. Until Susan turned up with that detective.
And what happened?
Oh, well, I mean, it was all dreadful. They squabbled over me. I felt like I was a bone between two dogs. It was all so pointless.
Why?
Well, I mean, Susan seemed to think I was still married to her.
But surely you were.
No, I was divorced.
Divorced? When were you divorced, Mr. McNeil?
From Susan, my lord? Oh, 69, I think.
Well, why didn't you say so before? Have you the papers?
No, my lord, I don't need papers. I stood up in the central mosque at Mogadishu and I repudiated Susan. For a Muslim, that's divorce.
Yes, well, what about your first wife? Your first English wife, I mean.
Wait, you mean Agnes? Oh, I divorced her the same way too.
I see. Muslim divorces are now recognised, I believe, in this country, Mr. Lotterby.
Yes, indeed, my lord, and my client is a Muslim.
My lord, I submit that the sincerity of Mr. McNeil's conversion to Islam has yet to be established.
Mr. McNeil's religious sincerity is not in question. And with respect, I submit that this court is not competent to judge on matters of religion.
I shall bear your remarks in mind, Mr. Lotterby. Meanwhile, let us proceed with the case. I would like to complete this witness's evidence and your final speeches today, if that is possible.
Certainly, my lord. Mr. McNeil, let us now turn to the question of money. Now, did you borrow money from your first two British wives?
Borrow? No. Well, I mean, we didn't sign any papers. But, yes, I mean, they put money into my business, but they both lived on proceeds from my business.
Have you returned any of the money?
No. Well, I mean, Agnes didn't ask for it. And if Susan is desperate, I can write her a cheque now, but I honestly thought it was a gift.
Now, what about your latest wife, Anne? Now, she says you were already negotiating to sell flats she owned. Is that true?
No, I went to see some agents about them. That's true. I just wanted to find out what they were really worth.
Would you have sold them?
They were not mine to sell. If Anne, however, stays with me and the price offered for the flats is good enough, I would perhaps advise her to sell them. But, I mean, what Anne does is up to her.
Did you manage to find out a price for her property?
No, I never got any further with the negotiations, and just a couple of agents told me they would probably have no difficulty at all disposing of the flats.
When did you approach these estate agents?
I phoned them both on the 3rd. Yes, that's right. It was about, yes, exactly 3 days before Susan did her Sarah Bernhardt at Scarborough.
It was a difficult scene, was it, when your wife Susan appeared at the Bronte Arms?
Difficult? It was impossible. I mean, they both wanted me, and whichever one didn't get me was going to go straight to the police. I couldn't win. It didn't matter what I did.
Thank you, Mr. McNeil.
Mr. McNeil, you claim you've been a Muslim for 25 years.
I have been.
Would you describe yourself as a good Muslim?
Good is a matter of opinion. I am a fairly strict Muslim, if that's what you mean.
You said you don't drink or smoke or eat pig flesh.
Quite correct, sir.
Which sect do you belong to?
What sect?
Yes, which sect of Islam do you belong to? I understand there are several Islamic sects. Which one do you belong to?
Well, I'm a Somali Muslim.
Most Somalis belong to the same sect. Which one is it?
Well, I mean, I'm no theologian.
Well, are you a Shiite? Or an Ismaili? Sunni?
Sunni.
You're a Sunni Muslim, are you, Mr. McNeil? What is Sunni Mohammedanism?
Well, I mean...
What is it? On what was it founded?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? On the Sunnah, the path of the Quran.
Very good, Mr. McNeil. Can you tell me the name of the Prophet's son?
The Prophet's son?
Yes, Muhammad, your prophet. What is the name of his son?
Your Lordship, my client's knowledge of Muslim theology is not in question.
Nonetheless, Mr. Lotterby, your client is claiming privileges as a Muslim. I do not see that Mr. Logan is being unreasonable in seeking to establish the veracity of Mr. McNeil's alleged religious conversion.
Thank you, my lord. What is the name of the Prophet's son, Mr. McNeil? Well, name any of his sons, his wives, his mother.
Khadija.
Khadija is the name of the Prophet's mother?
With respect, my lord, I submit that a knowledge or lack of knowledge of the Prophet's relatives is a test of memory rather than of sincerity.
My lord, every Christian knows the name of Christ's mother. Surely most Muslims, particularly most converts, would know the name of the Prophet's progeny.
I would ask my learned friend, a regular churchgoer, if he can name the brother of Christ.
I'm not in the witness box.
His wife.
His wife?
Yes, my lord. Khadija was...
Khadija was the Prophet's wife?
Wait. Maybe it was his sister.
Khadija was the Prophet's wife. So much for your knowledge of Islam, Mr. McNeil. It would be true to say, would it not, that throughout your life your religious beliefs have been dictated by other considerations?
I don't know what you mean, sir.
Well, you yourself said that you became a Muslim to enable you to deal more successfully with Muslim businessmen in a Muslim country.
Yes.
A case of if you can't beat them, join them?
I personally would not have phrased it like that myself. I don't care what you say. I am a strict Muslim.
Because you're involved in the pilgrim trade?
Partly. And partly because I believe in Islam.
I put it to you that all you believe in, Mr. McNeil, is your own financial advantage.
No, sir. You're wrong.
No, that's true, is it not? You have 3 Muslim wives.
Yes.
2 of whom are related to your Somali business partner.
Yes.
The third being the daughter of a gentleman in Jeddah with whom your company does business.
Yes, I know, but you see, Muslim life is like
Well,
that.
if you had to do business with a cannibal tribe, Mr. McNeil, would you develop a taste for human flesh?
Of course not.
Aren't you prepared, like the Vicar of Bray, to turn your coat to whatever will bring you profit, even to the Prophet himself?
Look, I love my wives and my children. You might not believe it, Mr. Logan, you might not believe it, but I am truly considered to be a good husband.
Oh, I believe it, Mr. McNeil. After all, you're here on trial today because you've been a good husband rather more times than English law permits. Now, will you look at this document? That is the notice of marriage completed by you in your handwriting so that you could obtain a marriage license, isn't it?
Yes.
And in it you declare that to the best of your belief there was no impediment to the marriage.
Yes.
You see that?
Yes.
And that declaration was false, wasn't it? Because even if we accept your story about the divorces, you were still married to 3 Muslim wives when you applied for the license to marry Anne Bolton.
But I mean, I took legal advice.
You took legal advice? From whom?
A lawyer in Mogadishu.
Well, about what? Whether in English law your Muslim wives were an impediment to an English marriage?
Yes, exactly.
And what did he tell you?
He said it was all right.
Will that lawyer be giving evidence?
Well, no, I mean, he's still in Mogadishu.
Well, have you a copy of his advice?
No copy. He didn't write it down. He just told me.
Well, didn't you think of consulting an English lawyer?
No, I did not.
Come now, Mr. McNeil, this is a story you've dreamt up to try and get yourself out of the difficulty of having falsely declared that there was no impediment to your marriage with Anne Bolton, isn't it?
No, honestly, that's true.
Now, let's look at your first trip back to this country. 1956, wasn't it?
Yes.
Shortly after Suez, in fact.
Yes.
Yes, that must have interfered a bit with the pilgrim trade.
Oh, yes, it had an effect.
Such an effect on your business that you came... that you had to come back to this country and find yourself a wife with money to inject into your company?
No, sir, that was not the reason. I fell in love with Agnes.
As you fell in love with Susan Watt 11 years later.
I fell in love with Susan.
She had money too, didn't she?
Yes.
And you married in that year, the same year as the 6-Day War, did you not?
Yes, but I don't quite see what that has to do with my marrying Susan.
Well, this court doesn't have the accounts of your company in Somalia, Mr. McNeil, but if it did, would those accounts not reveal that 1967 was a bad year for your import-export business, or what you call your pilgrim trade?
No.
And what about your most recent marriage? Was 1972 another bad year for your business interests?
No.
What were your profits for 1972?
I mean, I don't know offhand.
And why, within a few days of your last wedding, were you attempting to price the value of your latest wife's property?
Because, well, honestly, because Anne is a bit simple when it comes to business. I believed that possibly the property was worth a very great deal more than she imagined.
Then why not discuss the matter with her?
I just thought it would come as a nice surprise.
A surprise? And why didn't you explain to Agnes and to Susan that you were a Muslim and already had 3 wives? Was that another surprise?
No, I've told you already. I've said already, haven't I? I didn't think they would understand.
I don't suppose they would. And how is it that you conveniently divorced each one when it became obvious that you could squeeze no more money out of them?
I did not squeeze money out of anybody. They put money into my business, yes, but perfectly voluntarily.
No, Mr. McNeil, it's just too much of a coincidence. If you'd really cared about these women, you would have informed them when you allegedly repudiated them in the mosque at Mogadishu, wouldn't you? But you didn't. How many women have you married in all, including your Muslim wives?
7.
Yes, it says in the Quran, in Surah chapter 4, verse 3, marry as pleases you 2, 3, or 4 women, and if ye fear ye cannot be equitable, then only 1. You've rather exceeded your quota, haven't you, Mr. McNeil?
No, sir. There is no quota in the Quran. And it also says in Surah, the same chapter, I think, men are the protectors and the maintainers of women, for God has given the one more strength than the other. Yes, Mr. Logan, just you ask any of my wives if I have been a good husband.
Yes, indeed, Mr. McNeil. 7 times, in fact. Your consideration exceeds your credibility. I put it to you that you married these 3 women for money, not for love, and that you have never had any intention at all of living with them till death did you part.
Now, Mr. Logan, that's not true, and it's not a nice thing to say.
Clarify a few points, my lord. Mr. McNeil, you have been a follower of the Mohammedanism for 25 years.
Yes, sir, correct.
Virtually all your adult life.
Yes, sir.
It could be said that you think like a Muslim.
Yes, I suppose so.
You don't think like a normal member of the Church of Scotland.
No, sir.
Why did you marry your 3 British wives in registry offices?
Well, I couldn't marry them in the church, sir. I'm not Christian.
Did you divorce Agnes and Susan according to Islamic tradition?
Yes, sir, I did.
Thank you, Mr. McNeil.
I think this is an appropriate time to adjourn. I will hear final speeches for the prosecution and the defence after lunch. All stand.
Now, so far as the first charge of bigamy is concerned, members of the jury, it is right that I should tell you at once that the prosecution are not proceeding with it, for the reason that it is clear that when the accused married Susan McNeil, and for that matter Agnes McNeil, he was already married to a number of Muslim wives, which means in English law that both these marriages were void.
Well, I'm glad you raised that point, Mr. Logan. It's been worrying me, but I've looked it up, and I think you're right. Baindale against Baindale decides that where a man who has already entered a potentially polygamous marriage marries again in England, the English marriage is void, so that neither Mrs. Agnes McNeil nor Mrs. Susan McNeil were ever married to Mr. McNeil, and it would appear that these ladies, as it were living in sin with him.
It would appear so, my lord.
Now let us get on.
However, members of the jury, the other 2 charges stand. There can be no doubt that the accused did make false representations to Miss Bolton, both expressly and by implication. He proposed marriage, thus by implication representing he was free to enter into a valid monogamous marriage. Now that was untrue. He told her that he was a widower. That was untrue. He told her they would always be together after the marriage. Now I suggest to you that was untrue, and that he never had any such intentions. I submit that the pattern of his marriages suggests that he entered into them for money, prepared to discard his wives at his convenience after he'd got the money he wanted. Now, members of the jury, that is enough. In my submission, it is clear that the accused is guilty of the offence of attempting to obtain money by deception. The 3rd charge still stands. His marriages to the Muslim ladies were and are an impediment to a valid marriage in England. As you have heard, the accused, in order to get a marriage license, made a written declaration that in his belief there was no impediment to that marriage. That declaration was false. And if he knew it, as I suggest he clearly did, then he is plainly guilty.
My learned friend has suggested that the pattern of his marriages demonstrates that Mr. McNeil was only interested in money. But if that was so, why is it that all his wives found him so affectionate, were so contented with him as a husband? So much so, indeed, that all three are prepared to take him back. Well, I submit, ladies and gentlemen, that the only verdict on this charge can be one of not guilty. As to the one remaining charge, it's true that Mr. McNeil falsely declared that there was no impediment to the proposed marriage to Miss Bolton, but that is only an offence if he knew his Muslim marriages were such an impediment, and he says that he didn't, that he had been advised by a lawyer that he could legally enter into such a marriage. Well, do you think he was lying about this? Did he appear to you like a liar when he was giving evidence? No, members of the jury. You have no alternative but to acquit him on this charge also.
Now, members of the jury, as you have heard, the charge of bigamy has been dropped, and I accordingly direct you to bring in a verdict of not guilty on that charge. As to the other two charges, it is for you to decide whether they have been made out. I am merely here to assist you with the law. Now, the vital issue on the first charge is whether Mr. McNeil was acting dishonestly when it was arranged that Miss Bolton should convey her flats to him. Does the fact that he was negotiating a price for them which she had not authorized suggest that he was intending to deprive her of that property or of the proceeds from the sale of that property? Or was he, as he says, merely establishing their value as a natural part of his management of them? Now, those questions are for you to decide. As to the second charge, the vital question is whether he believed, as he claims, that his Muslim marriages were not an impediment to the marriage with Miss Bolton. He says he was so advised. There is no corroboration of this, and you may think that it would have helped you if Mr. McNeil had called the lawyer who advised him to give evidence. But he did not do so. But there we are. You must decide whether you believe Mr. McNeil. Now, you must remember that the prosecution has to prove its case beyond all reasonable doubt. So if there is a reasonable doubt in your mind as to whether Mr. McNeil is guilty or not guilty, then you must return your verdict accordingly. Now, members of the jury, will you kindly retire to consider your verdict?
All stand. Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached verdicts on which you're all agreed?
We have.
Do you find the prisoner at the bar, Archibald Dunbar McNeil, guilty or not guilty of the charge of bigamy?
Not guilty.
Do you find Archibald Dunbar McNeil guilty or not guilty of the charge of attempting to obtain money by deception?
Not guilty.
Do you find Archibald Dunbar McNeil guilty or not guilty of knowingly making a false declaration for the purposes of obtaining a marriage license?
Not guilty.
Thank you. All stand.
Next week, a chance to join another jury in assessing the facts when our cameras return to watch a leading case in the Crown Court.